Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another series of Project Hafidh, How to Raise a Hafidh. I'm your host, Ruzi Talha. In this episode, we will be looking at how to face the challenge that you are going to have in this journey. Challenges are inevitable. It's not the fact that you're having a challenge, it's how to overcome the challenges that you're having. And I have to say, all the mothers that I interviewed, including myself, we all face challenges. And these challenges were different to each one of us. However, we understood that anything in life that is of value and meaning, there will be challenges. However, we have to think of overcoming these challenges because the goal is just too big for us to give up when we come across first hurdle of challenge. So this session, I hope, will help you to become resilient upon facing challenges that you may have, inshallah. So when we think about challenges, we think about the child only. However, it's not just the child who's going to face challenge or challenges. It's the adult in the child's life who is encouraging the child. And this is namely the mother. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to think, or rather get you to think about challenges that the child will face. And then think of challenges that you as a mother or father will face, inshallah. So let's start with the challenge of the mother. And here I want to share my story. When I thought of raising my son as a Hafidh, I thought of, and this is my vision, I wanted to go away to a Muslim country and put him into a Hifz school, and that I felt would take care of the Hifz goals that I had in my mind. However, life doesn't happen according to what we plan, because the decree takes place and whatever happens to us, it's by the permission and decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I didn't end up going to a Muslim country. Rather, I began my journey of encouraging my son to do Hifz in this country, in UK. Now, here there's a challenge, and that is me shifting my mindset from thinking I'll go away to settling with what I have here. And that was a challenge for me because in my mind I was thinking I didn't plan to be here to do his Hifz because I felt there was not much resource around here. So I had to really change my mindset so that I can adapt to my circumstances here in UK. So you may have a challenge similar to mine, and you have to adapt and you have to do what is practical for you in your circumstances. So I know mothers, they felt that they couldn't access a madrasa that they want to send their child. And that became a challenge because they had a certain space or place to send their child to do Hifz, and they couldn't. So what could they do? Now, they thought, okay, what is my other option? My other option is maybe to access a madrasa online. Now here, the point I'm trying to make is that everyone on this noble journey will face challenge of some sort. But the point isn't to get stuck when you have challenge, but the point is to think, okay, what can I do that is practical given my circumstances? So this mother, she couldn't access the madrasa that was a bit far away. So she had to think of an alternative, and that was to maybe access madrasa online. That's a solution. So whatever challenges that you're going through, you have to think, okay, what is my other option? And take that option. And here I want to mention something. Once I remember attending a Islamic lecture, and one sister asked a sheikh, what could she do to access Islamic education for her child? And the response the sheikh gave was quite interesting. He said, access whatever is near to you because you're more likely to stick to that. And this is the whole idea, to be practical about the solution that you are trying to achieve in your own challenge. There could be another challenge that you may face where maybe, you're going through a marital breakdown and you become a single mother and you feel like, okay, I don't have the support of my husband. How am I going to cope with this journey of Hafidh? Here, although you may not have your husband on board due to whatever reason, think of alternative. Maybe you can have your brother, the madrasa teacher, other male figures to give the child the attention. And even if you go through a marriage breakdown, you can still have the father on board to give the support to the child. So it's not about, okay, the challenge is here, I have to give up everything. No, think of solution. Think of ways to overcoming these challenges. And what really helps is to see what other parents are doing and have some ideas and discussion with other people who are on the same journey as you. Another challenge that many children face, they lose motivation. And this is absolutely normal. When you come across your child and the child is saying to you, they don't want to do Hafidh, don't get distraught. It's absolutely normal. You'd find the child would feel lazy, lethargic, uninterested, and you may get disheartened because you may think, how can you say that about the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Now think about yourself. Think about us. As adults, we get lazy sometimes. We get, quite, disinterested in doing certain things that we're supposed to do, like our salah, recitation of the Quran. And same is true for the children. Here, don't get very upset. Rather, have dialogue, have conversation. Maybe there's something going on in the child's life. Maybe the child is getting bullied. Maybe the child had a fight with his peers. Maybe the child is going through hormonal changes, bodily changes. So don't just look at problem on surface. Dig deep, and as a mother, ascertain what's going on in the child's life. And then you'll see it's actually not even about Hafidh. It's actually something totally different, but it's having an impact on their ability to memorize the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Talking of which, sometimes we focus a lot on the physical aspect of what's going on in the child's life. There could be something on a spiritual level. Maybe the child is seeing images that is impacting his ability to memorize the Quran. What do I mean by this? Nowadays, we live in the 21st century where children are having a lot of access to content online. And sometimes they may come across images that are not good. And you know what I mean by that. So here, to understand what is the child doing, because we know that knowledge, Quran, is a light. And that light, Allah will only give it to certain people. And if they are engaged in sins, that light will not be given. So here, pay attention to the spiritual well-being as well. Are they sinning? Are they committing sin through their eyes, through their ears? Are they listening to music? What's going on in the child's life? Don't just focus on the materialistic thing. Look deeper and look at the child's lifestyle, what's happening in the child's life, and try to understand first and try to help the child. Don't do one thing, and that is to reprimand the child so harshly, because that will put the child off. And I mean, when we become so emotional about the challenges that the child is facing, that we become so harsh on them and we can put them off for life. Don't do this. Try to calm yourself, understanding what's happening in the child's life, and try to come up with a solution together. And that's important. Why? Because it's not you who's doing the memorization, it's the child. You need the child on board. You need the child to cooperate with you and agree on the term that the child is happy with. Yeah, and that's key. Sometimes as parents, we want so much for the child. We may increase the portion of memorization for the child, not knowing that it's actually hard on the child. Isn't it better they do something rather than nothing? Of course, you would agree on that. So always have open dialogue with the child, and don't assume or don't presume. See speak to the child and understand what's going on in the child's life and have a dialogue. If it helps, get a third party involved. It could be the teacher, it could be even your husband, it could be the uncle, it could be one of their people, a person who they like and like to confide in. It could be that they want to open up to you because maybe you'll get over emotional, and that's fine. Get intervention, because having intervention will only help you. And this is something we need to understand, that when we are going through challenges, it could be that you're not able to overcome these challenges by yourself. And that's where the village comes in hand. Have support from other people. Because what is the aim? The aim is that you want your child to achieve the goal of memorizing this book. And if it means you get assistance from other people, some helping hand, then so be it. Because your goal is what? You want the child to memorize this book. And having help from others, there's no shame in that. In fact, it will aid you greatly, because everyone needs support from time to time. And support will actually help you to progress further. Not only you, your child as well. I know some sisters, they asked, social influences, different people to actually give message to their child so they can carry on with memorizing the book. And this is just an innovative way to get the child motivated, because motivation does go down, and it will go down. I have seen it many, many times. And you as a mother, especially, have to do your best to lift the motivation so the child is motivated to carry on. That's one challenge. And there are many, many challenges, but I will end with this, is that whatever challenge you go through, you have to think of overcoming this challenge, because the goal is just too big to give up. Inshallah, with this, I shall leave you until next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.